Hello, pile number one, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So we're going to be taking a look into your energy and sensing out some insight about how it is that you guys can protect your energy and anything else that the energy surrounding you guys wish to bring forward. So you guys have done really well at working on accepting yourself. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to start this recording prior to now, but I found myself overcomplicating what I was trying to say. So I stopped it. I wasn't very far in. It was probably like, I don't know, almost a minute. So what I'm going to say here, pile number one, is that you guys are very good at putting things into a simplified perspective where you focus in on the problem, the cause, and the solution. Where a lot of people around you, pile number one, are very distracted by life and by things that they deem as problems but aren't really problems. You're very good at removing distractions and helping people to get to the nitty-gritty core root of reasons, motives, agendas, understandings, or misunderstandings as well. You guys are very well known to be someone who invokes positive change by the people outside of you. A lot of people outside of you also see you as someone who is very good at sensing out the inner needs for healing within other people outside of you. That's just what I was picking up on the energy prior, that I was overcomplicating. So as I was saying in the first recording, I pre-pulled these two cards for you here, and this is the Menelite and also the Otter Totem. So this is in the position of representing how it is that you recognize yourself to be at this time, and also where it is that you might find yourself energetically vulnerable that your guides want you to become aware of. We'll touch on other positions later in the reading, but just to highlight the channeled messages here, what this is saying is, once again, highlighting simplicity, pile number one. The Otter is very good at saying what is important and discerning when to enact and when not to, when to give and when to preserve. You guys are very much motivated by achievement, but the thing is, you're going to find yourself as someone who won't find yourself very good at investing your energy into things that you don't see as a pure reflection of who it is that you are, your creativity, your natural talents, such as your problem solving skills, and you're very efficient, pile number one. You get things done in a very timely fashion as long as you see the importance of what it is that you are doing. That's what I guess I'm trying to say here. From what I'm picking up in the energy, you guys won't really find yourself being good or feeling motivated to do things that don't mean important things to you. So I feel as though you had gone through a process of going through analyzing, I guess, your life and how it was that you were committing yourself to your life and investing yourself, and you came to a realization that you wanted, or you had outgrown, a certain way of living, a certain way of being, and a certain way of investing in your life. And what you've come to find yourself to be embodying, from what I see here, is the Menelite and the Otter, and these two energies combining, is that you guys have almost attuned to a new form of infinite potential of creativity, because you have simplified your form of understanding to pure acceptance. It's more like you're facing the unknown, and accepting the unknown for what it is how it reveals itself. And you guys are very much attuned to your subconscious mind, or your inner guide, or what some people might call their inner dialogue, their inner voice, and it's helping you to counsel yourself through the unknown. So you're going to be finding yourself being able to simply become what you need to be in your moment, to face the unknown, because you're not fighting where life is directing you. Instead, you're accepting where it is that you are and putting your best foot forward the ways that you know how to, which is simply being yourself and living how it is that life appears itself to manifest. Now, outside of you, people are seeing you as someone who provides a lot of understanding. The Menelite tells me that you guys have a deep connection to the earthly realm or the earth element, which tells me that yes, you might quite literally have a connection to like Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, and regenerative energies, healing energies. But what this is, breaking it down a little bit further, what this is actually telling me is that you guys have a deep respect for creation outside of you. So you guys will be very good at seeing the beauty within things that tend to be overlooked or undervalued, misunderstood, or not understood at all, hardly even known. I would say that you guys are very good at having a lot of hidden esoteric knowledge and wisdom, because when we mix the otter with the Menelite, this is telling me that within simply achieving your day-to-day duties, pile number one, you receive experience that has taught you wisdom of how you can approach certain situations in life in certain ways to create the best possible outcome or hope. You guys will find yourselves very talented at conditioning your ideals into being, and you guys are very, very intuitive, empathically intuitive, and I would also say clairsentiently intuitive. You're very good at sensing out the hidden truths within creations outside of you, mainly other people. The Otter Totem tells me that you'll be very clairsentient to hidden agendas, hidden motives, and hidden intent. It's more like if people have especially hidden evils or hidden traumas, hidden darkness, that subtly motivates them, though they are not consciously aware of it, you will be the first person to be able to pick up on these things and sense these things. And sometimes in the past, I would imagine you guys probably had sensed negativity from people around you and being like, there's something about a person, I don't know what it is, I don't like it though, I think they're a bad person, maybe that's why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, when in reality what it is that you're sensing a concealed truth that this person that is dominant in this person's life that they are concealing because they probably don't know how to discipline it, which means they repress it and it's still growing in energy, and that's what you're sensing out. And what this actually teaches you, it teaches you about the needs of the person, and it teaches you about the trauma or the attachment, which then you are able to look into further because you're very good at personalizing information, situations, and feelings and emotions and relating to people in this way. What happens is that you connect to your subconscious mind and counsel yourself through the situation to then almost translate this information to someone else that could possibly help them. You provide paths, understandings, options, pile number one, and you do this in hopes of helping to support someone to a better position where they can become comfortable enough to accept themselves and the reality that they find themselves in. So I would also say that you probably would find yourself a little bit vulnerable to the boundaries that you set with other people outside of you, because I would say that you're a natural giver. So a lot of what you will find important to you is the requests are the ones that you love. And because you are someone who is so motivated to achieve what you feel is important or necessary, you're very focused, and you tend to overgive yourself, if I'm honest here, part number one. And this is where you might find yourself vulnerable, is setting healthy boundaries with yourself to then set healthy boundaries with people outside of you. So it's important that you are able to recognize how it is that you might overextend your efforts or extend your energy, your resources, your focuses, and ask yourself, are these things really beneficial in the long run, or am I helping a situation to be a temporary give back? You know what I mean? I don't know. Hopefully you'll be able to personalize that to your situation that you have felt most pressing on your mind and in your heart matters. All right, so let's jump in a little bit further and take a look at what it is that you might be vulnerable to within the projections of others outside of you. What is it that you might feel vulnerable to from the projections of people outside of you. We have communication, we have spiritual guides, and naked. Initially, what I was getting off the bat before I actually saw this card, which I guess kind of goes along with it, was please be careful on what sorts of spiritual advisory you're listening to, or what sorts of important advice you are accepting from people outside of you. People can only give you what they know from the level of understanding, which is their filter. Some people in the spiritual community refer to this as the filter, which, yes, we can only judge things from our perspective or level of understanding. And the thing is, pile number one, you are the only one who can really accept and embody or integrate the true totality of the situation you find yourself in. People can only offer opinions. So it's very important that you ask yourself the truth of what you perceive, and don't be afraid to trial and error methods of how to best deal with your situations, because of course I'm not ignorant to the fact that there is no one way to create the best possible outcome for an individual when an individual is walking their own authentic path. There's plenty of different ways that work for individuals to help them get to a certain place, a certain achievement, a certain area, or a certain embodiment. So it's important that you don't hold yourself to a specific something if you know it is not working for you, or in service of the highest and greatest good of all involved, or the situation that you are intending to create. And I think this is something that you're very good at accepting within yourself, but you might find it a little bit difficult to discern what is actually spiritually connected outside of you through the communications that you share with people outside of you. So the best advice I can probably offer you from my own experiences is ask yourself, what are people saying and what is it answering to? Is it answering to love and enlightenment, which is understanding, or is it answering to fear and all of that? And my conclusion, if it comes to what this person is saying to me, answers and is motivated by fear. It is not something that is motivated from a space or an energy source that is in service of the highest and greatest good, because the highest and greatest good does not speak through fear. The highest and greatest good speaks through the voice of what is and what is not. There is no such thing as pointless, useless. There is no such thing as unbelonging, which means what do you choose to live by? And I think what this is saying is the projection that you will feel most vulnerable to people outside of you is the pathways that they say that they see for you in particular. The important thing that you do here is stay in connection with your true self and ask yourself about the options that best support and encourage who you know to be as your best self in that moment, because your best self is ever evolving with better choices that you make every day. So the more you check in with yourself, the more you can stay up to date with your own spiritual evolution, which will keep you in a space of alignment that will help you to understand what is helpful and what is not, and help you to discern when to enact and when to rest. Another thing that I see here that you might feel a little bit vulnerable to in the projections of people outside of you is, I want to say, you know how you're a giver. Be careful people don't try to manipulate you into doing things through their emotional discomforts. You're, over the next, I want to say 3 weeks in particular, you're going to become very sensitive to the true need for help within people. Like, they might express to you discomforts, but that doesn't necessarily mean problems. Their perspective of the discomfort turns it into a problem through their judgment. And you're very good at seeing past the discomforts into the root core of the issue. And it's important that you prioritize your ability to do this and explore this ability over the next 3 weeks in particular, because it's going to be heightened, which means it's going to be supported into your awareness to help you to learn how to integrate it or embody it and put it into everyday practice, or help you to get to a position where you recognize this talent within yourself to be a part of who it is that you are, rather than a separate talent or skill that you have had to raise into being, because it's a natural instinct within you that you have kind of almost been not turned off to, but you want to see the best in people, so you don't really listen to this part of yourself all that well. And this is what you're going to be learning to do. Listen to your discernment and listen to healthy boundaries, and learning to tune into your own personal evolution as you move through your day-to-day situations and concerns or focuses. So how is it that you can best protect your energy from what has been highlighted? We have law is not justice, and we have use your time well. So the way that you can protect your energy from anything outside of you that comes to distract you or move you away from the path of your best embodiment of self is use your time to invest in what you know is meaningful and is important to you. If you don't see it as important, it's probably not important to the moment in that time. What is important will arise within you. You will feel it as a natural motivation or a passion or an inspiration, and you will feel a natural drive towards something that will just be completed naturally. You won't have to try, it will flow through you. Things where you're over-investing your effort is going to drain you rather quickly, so it's important that you counsel yourself and ask yourself what is important. How can you use this time to create the best possible outcome, and what's going to bring you the maximum amount of achievement through your current investments, either in a week's time from now, a month's time from now, or a year's time from now. This is all about you questioning your goals and asking yourself why you're invested in your goals as well. So this will also help you to protect your energy from distractions outside of you. You're very much in touch with your divine feminine energy, which means you're very much in touch with your subconscious mind, your intuition, your thought form patterns, and also your motivation of feeling. And it's the important thing here, from what I'm hearing, is that you just stay attuned and in flow with the truth of yourself, because as long as you continue to do this, which I know you've been doing very well, you will stay in this alignment, which I feel you've achieved very well for yourself. It's something that you've disciplined and worked on bringing balance and harmony too, so that's really good. I really do love that for you. So what is it that they need to know moving forward that will help them to achieve the best possible outcome within the energetic protection? Use your time well. Yeah, discern what is going to be helpful for you and helpful to you, and helpful to your goals. Your goals, and keeping that in vision, is what is going to help you most to protect what it is that you're building here. Within your career field, I definitely see advancements, pile number one, and I also see you building contentment and satisfaction from the things that you choose to invest in. I see here that there's such a curious dream has come out, and it's always tea time. You're going to be finding yourself exiting a certain form of cycle that you've seen your career or your money go through, and you're going to be exiting this cycle, because you're going to be seeing what the cause of this cycle was, or what the cause of this thought form pattern that has been holding you stagnant has been, or anything that has been holding you back from feeling like you can put into forward motion, like your goals, your ambitions, and all that jazz. Sorry guys, I hope that makes sense. Any additional messages before I close this reading? What would you encourage them to do more of? I just heard I need to use these two. So what is it that you would encourage them to do more of? We have the black egg. Listen to your authentic voice and listen to your authentic motivations. What you see as bad within yourself, if anything does come up where you start to judge yourself, please take the time out that you need to learn what it means to love that part of yourself that you're judging, because this is saying that there is hidden beauty within what you deem as bad. This could be within yourself, within your situation, within your perspective of a situation, or within a relationship. This is saying that they're still yet to be discovered, and you being yourself will help lead you towards the answers that you have been seeking. We have the lizard totem as well. You know, pile number one, I think you are someone who has recognized yourself to be multi-talented, multifaceted, is that how you say it? Or you have heaps of different aspects of yourself that equal the totality of who you are, and you are very good at discerning what forms of yourself is appropriate, or what forms of yourself is going to fit best in the environments that you find yourself, which is a natural talent of the lizard totem. So what this is saying is, see these separate forms of yourself as what contributes to the totality of who you are. Judgments outside of you don't define you. People will only see the versions of you that they wish to see, or that they have the level to understand within you. And it's important that you become comfortable with this, because it will help you to understand what it is that you wish to display, when and how that would be best. That is the additional information that Wairua has said will help you moving into the next month ahead. So those are messages I have for you today. You have a lot of really good things coming up here with the Otter Totem and the Menolite. You're going to be learning more about your untapped potential, your natural creative talents, and also what's going to bring you happiness, because you have connected to the truth of who it is that you are. You're going to be bringing forward the true necessities that will help move you forward. Keep diving into the depths of your natural driven mystery. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever is arousing is what I just heard. Your curiosity is for a reason. It's divinely inspired within you, so it's important that you look into what has been I just heard caressing your curiosity. What is this? Please look into it. Wairua said it will benefit you and help lead you towards forward movement. It's something that you have been waiting for. Once again, those are the messages that I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comment section below, and I will do what I can to help if it's needed. With all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're going to be taking a look at your energy and what you might need to know about how to protect that over the next upcoming month. So the cards that I pulled to represent your guys' energy just before I hit record was the Bumblebee Jasper and also the Deer Totem. So this is going to represent where it is that you might feel a little bit vulnerable over the next 30 days. And what would be helpful for you to understand moving into the next month ahead. This card here is representing how it is that you might recognize yourself right now at this time of viewing, or what it is that you have come from, something that Spirit finds important for me to know about you before we enter the reading, and what you can use to identify if this reading is for you or not. So Bumblebee Jasper with the number 6 being here. You guys, I actually feel this is pretty positive. This is actually the position that you found yourself in is actually much more positive than what you have realized as of yet. You guys are moving into a new cycle of self-discovery and discovery of new environments or new possibilities that you did not see being possible in the past. So what I just heard was, please don't talk too fast. Okay. What I'm hearing here is that there is a triumph over what you once deemed to have been impossible, and you're starting to recognize a deeper sense of belonging within you, or you guys have recognized a meaningful purpose or a meaningful belonging to either something like a family, a legacy, or something that you see and feel is important that motivates you. You guys are really courageous, and you have the ability to be gentle in places that other people wouldn't even dare to kind of venture into. You guys have an ability to build compassion or understanding with aspects of life that other people do not want to look at, prejudge very harshly. So I would say that you guys are actually, people are very lucky to know you and be connected to you, because in ways you guys are very good at balancing the academic intellect or logic with your emotional intelligence, which is really important, because it brings you into a balance of equal reciprocity with self, which kind of encourages an energy around you that is very nurturing, very genuine, very pure and tended, which means your energy naturally strips false personas, false masks, uh, false projections of other people around you. When they come into your energy, it's almost like an instant space of compassion, but it's like serene. It's like you can't fake being in your energy. And I partially believe this is because you guys are very good at seeing the good within the bad, with the deer totem being here. And it's important that you guys remember your ability to do this, to see the good within the bad, or to see the purpose within the challenge. Now, the purpose is of me bringing this up to you is because over the next 30 days, you guys might feel challenged with being gentle with certain people who choose to put themselves in specific environments or situations that encourages negative energy. And what I just heard, funny enough, is that a part of you being who it is that you are and being able to kind of manifest the best possible outcomes is learning to trust the process of maturing of other people. So seeing the lessons and the challenges that people outside of you struggle with is going to be important for you to maintain within your mind, because a lot of people are going to come to you seeking direction, and seeking an analytical outlook, which is something that people know you are naturally gifted and is a natural strength of yours. But the key here, part number one, to protect your own energy is not to overinvest in people's lives outside of you, and to develop a faith or a trust within yourself that they are exactly where they need to be. They are going through the lessons that are going to be best beneficial for them in the long run, if they choose to allow it to teach them. If they choose to allow it to victimize them, that's exactly what is going to happen. And that's where you're going to feel challenged to be gentle, because you're going to see a lot of people choosing to be a victim rather than choosing to be someone who is empowered in the life that they find themselves when these tests come up, because tests happen to prove to ourselves who it is that we say that we are. And this is where the people around you are struggling. And you might be a little torn over the next 30 days from what I see here. Trust what is revealed to you, pile number two, about the people that are around you. Trust people when they say who they are. You guys, I would say, are very good at seeing the potential within people, which helps you to build directions and pathways, because you sense the potential within people, and then you sense the potential within the people that would do well in the potential of the opportunity that could form or be conditioned outside of yourself and them. But there are a lot of people who say that they want things, but they're not really willing to put in the effort to get what they say that they want. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you're going to become frustrated. So you're going to become a lot more aware of your environments and the people that you allow in your environments. I also hear here is that you guys are very telepathic. I was going to say clairsentient and clairaudient, which is quite literally telepathy, in a way. And the way that this will happen is that you will sense the hidden truths within the environments and within the people around you, but your inner dialogue will speak it to you. You'll hear it as your own voice, or you'll hear it as their thoughts. It's like you can predict what they're going to say before they say it, and that's because you're in an alignment of wanting to understand this person. And as long as you are in alignment with wanting to understand, you will remove the influence that emotion can have, that can dampen the analytical or logical information that you first need to have. You guys are very highly empathic, very highly clairsentient, and your intuition is going to be heightened over the next month. So it's also important that you are gentle with yourself. And this is where you will find yourself most vulnerable, being overly critical of yourself, of what you do and don't do. The deer totem has a healing ability to help you to accept yourself and to quieten the inner critic with your inner nurturer. So you're going to find that when the inner critic pops up over the next 30 days, pile number one, your inner nurturer will also arise and tell your inner critic to hush. And then you're probably going to find your ego come in and say trial and error is the only way. And what you're going to be tested by is trusting in the process of your own maturity, discovering the new versions of yourself that is arising through your new understandings. Did I just say that? Sorry guys, I got lost. Through the experiences that you're going to be finding coming up in your day-to-day life, you are going to be learning about a new version of yourself that you are maturing into, if that makes more sense. So it's important that you're gentle with yourself, how it was that you once were, who it was that you used to be, and you learn to accept with compassion who it is that you are becoming, and also accepting that certain things outside of you need to happen for other people, even if it does at first appear to be struggles. Because these people also need to go through their own maturity processes, which include these challenges. So separating yourself from this is going to be a challenge, and that's where you're going to feel vulnerable. But the key is to learn to build faith and trust that it serves a greater purpose than what your judgment might be able to discern. So taking a look further into your reading, why is it important that you know this right now? It's important that you know this so that you can understand that, you know, happiness is a choice regardless of condition. Happiness is a process of thinking, it is an attitude, and it is a dedicated or committed way of being. People who are truly happy know what it means to truly suffer. And you will find people who suffer or who have suffered the most genuine hardships, they are content and satisfied by necessity. And they have even greater appreciation for the luxuries that come outside of the necessity, because that's exactly how they see it. And I think you are an individual who operates best in this way. When you are appreciative of the life it is that you have the ability to then make the best out of what it is that you have, to then live by the best of your means. And you are very talented in this way. And it's important that you become aware of this information, because it's going to help you to protect your ability to do this, which will then preserve your energy moving into the next 30 to 40 days is what I just heard. You are very different is what I just heard as well. You are very different. And this card just came out here. No need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. That's why the very different expression came out from White here. Embrace your uniqueness, embrace the truth of who it is that you find yourself to be in your ever-coming moment, in your ever-present moment. Because the more you can accept yourself as who you are, the more you're going to know how to use the best of who it is that you are in any situation that you find yourself. I heard consumption. If you guys get sick over the next 30 days, it's important that you pay attention to your diet. It will be your diet. Your body, as you are changing or raising in vibration, is starting to require other needs, and you're becoming aware of your bodily needs a lot more consciously. So it's important that you honor these needs within yourself, because what this came through was this fish with something in its mouth. I have no idea. But it was saying, beware of consumption. It's what's making you sick. So I thought I'd just highlight that for whoever whoever needed to hear that. You'll know, because it will come up for you, and you'll have no reasonable explanation as to why. It's whatever you're consuming, it's no longer suitable for your needs in your body at the time. So you're going to start to have different sorts of cravings. Explore those cravings, because it might even benefit further other health defects that you might have experienced in the past. It's all related to the same thing. Anyway, For the rest of you, you guys also might feel like there's something being dangled in front of you, a hope. Don't become distracted by this hope, this fear, or this thing that you deem as impossible, because it's quite literally not. It's not impossible. It's just your instincts reminding you of what you're working towards. You might feel like it's too far away, but the point of these focuses or this reminder coming up isn't to tell you like you can't do this, it's too far away for you to be able to achieve. It's coming up to remind you what you are focused on and the goal that you are aiming to move towards. That is where your soul is wanting to be. That is where your soul is wanting to go, and what your soul is wanting to create around. So it's important that you know that as well. Okay, so how is it that they can further protect their energy from projections outside of them? If get to know the new you is what came out here. I'm not going to touch any further on this because, I mean, we've already spoken about it. But what I am hearing is the number 19, so we need to talk about that. We have 1 and 9 reducing down to 10, and this is all about the completion of karmic cycles. The old version of yourself, you're going to have seen a lot of errors, or you're going to judge yourself in a way of, this way of being didn't work, this thing that I did didn't work, and you're starting to recognize the consequences that have come from those choices. And now you have gone through the karmic repercussion. You've come to the completion of the karmic repercussions, and you're stepping into a new version of self because you've understood why a certain way of being is not beneficial to yourself or to the people outside of you. So you're going to find yourself going through self-revelation, where you want to adopt new understandings, new ways of being, which are opening the doors to new possibilities of experience, you see. So this is all directed by your own choices, and your guides want to commend you for choosing a better path for yourself and a better way of being. You're being encouraged to continue to do this because it's what is going to create the quickest change for you of improvement in your life that you are hoping for and that you have been working towards or looking for. Because with the number 11, this tells me that you've been consciously putting into action your desires and your goals, and there is something in your mind that you've been wanting to achieve that you absolutely can. Pile number 2, don't listen to people outside of you that say that you can't. And yes, there might be other people in the same focus that you wish to delve into or experience, but that doesn't matter, because you will experience it in your unique way. You will experience it in your own personalized way, and that is all that is important. If you are creating something and you are recreating something in a unique way that you've seen others do, like for example, if you're a tarot reader and you want to read tarot online, you absolutely can do that. And yes, there are a lot of readers out there, but that doesn't matter, because the people who resonate with you, the people who your messages are intended to reach, is deemed and seen and best fit by Wairoa in service of the highest and greatest good, they will come in, they will align with you, and that is all that is important, and that is all the focus should be, at least for now. Okay, so that's what I see here. You're going to experience a lot of unbelievable things that you didn't know were a possibility, pile number 2, and that's what your guides really want you to know. How is it that they can achieve the most positive and most successful energetic protection over the next 30 days? I just heard popcorn. Watch the show. You're going to start to see things unfold for you. It's not even like you're going to have to do much. You are rare and free. Again, your rarity and individuality is coming up as one of the most important aspects of this reading, embracing the truth of who you are and embracing the natural growth of yourself. Look more closely at yourself and ask yourself questions before you put action into manifest. Pile number 2, ask yourself, when you I get it, sorry, correction, when you are feeling unsure about something, about who it is that you are, or about how it is that you should approach something as your authentic self, ask yourself the questions that are important. Get clear with yourself. So for example, ask yourself why you feel this way, what is truly important about the situation. Are you going to let these things stop you? And then ask yourself what you can do to help comfort yourself, soothe yourself around this, empower yourself around this, help you to support yourself into these positions. The counseling of self is going to be important, because that is what is going to union you closer to the truth of who it is that you are. And this is what is going to lead you to the discovery of your true curiosities that will grant you the information and perspectives that you will need to move forward in the best successful way. You guys are on a journey of becoming a new version of yourself, and it's just important that you stabilize that version of yourself first. That should be the main priority right now, because you're going to gain a higher perspective of why you have gone through certain things in the ways that you have, and how it has aided you to a new life that you can build into being. You see? Okay, so what is the additional advice that you would give to pile number 2 while moving forward? You guys have the frog totem. Release yourself from all that you know that is no longer in authentic alignment with you. Learn about what is going to help you to heal your inner emotions, or your inner past scars or traumas, because there are things that could quite literally hold you back, but you are someone who is going to be very resourceful during this time. Because once again, your intuition is going to be heightened, and your awareness of self in your environments and in your exchanges are going to be advanced. So it's going to help you to see things in new ways, and the more you let go of what you think you know, the more you're going to learn about what you need to know in your ever-present moment within the next 30 days. That is what is going to help you the most of all. It is going to be like a key to the door of possibility. But I see here tremendous growth. I see here a reinvention of self, and a rebirth of self-appreciation and self-acceptance, which in other words some might call self-love, self-care. So you are coming into a fully transformed version of yourself, where you're going to see yourself completely new, completely different, and you're going to feel completely new, completely rebirthed. Those are the messages that I have for you today, pile number 2. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this has served you positive service, positive purpose. At the very least, has helped you pass some time. I'm still, there's something here. Stop saying you don't care about something that you know wasn't working, when you know that you do care. A part of being authentic with yourself, pile number 2, is being honest with yourself about what it is that you are truly going through. And once you can be honest with yourself, you will then feel comfortable being honest with other people outside of you. That is an emotional counsel that you have struggled to learn to master in the past. You feel uncomfortable sharing the truths of certain things because you have yet to come to a comfortable acceptance of things. So those are when you feel threatened emotionally, pile number 2, these will be the invitations that Spirit will highlight most, because it will become the main focus in your mind, or the main thing that then consumes you. These are invitations for you to take time out and get closer to yourself and learn about these things within yourself. As soon as you do, you're going to see the gift within what has been resisted, and that is when attachments will be released that will help you to move forward and build solutions. Acceptance with self helps attract an acceptance from others. Those are all the messages I have for you today. Again, thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time, pile number 2. Bye. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your guys' reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So I was in meditation, and as you can see, I've written a few things here just in case I lost that stream of consciousness while I was meditating on your energy. The cards that I pulled to represent your current position is represented by the I can't say it. Hold on. Can we see this? I'll leave it in the comments or in the description next to you guys. Timestamp. I think it's Herkimer Diamond. But what I was picking up on with this card, especially, the frequency from my phone picked up really, really loud in my Clair-audience, and it was almost giving me headaches, and it affected my third eye. And don't mind the pimple that's right there. It always happens on my third eye. But what this is saying is that I think you guys might need to spend a little bit more time taking breaks away from social media if you haven't already. Because once again, this card is saying that you're extra sensitive to your environments right now. And what I see here being a clear contribution to things like anxiety, stress, negative outlooks, and lower vibrational opinions that are perceived is coming through the too much exposure to an addiction of social media or things like your telly. Perhaps you guys could have been spending more time inside. This is encouraging you to take time outside. This is asking you to take time doing the opposite of what you have become comfortable with. This is a card that kind of, well, it's a totem that tells me about comfort zones, because the thing about the rabbit totem or the bunny is that it is very sensitive to its surroundings. This can also indicate to me personally that you guys might also identify with ADHD, um, social anxiety, autism, or this could just literally say that you are a shy person. So you guys feel more comfortable, I would say, in late afternoon, early evening, late night. You guys might identify to be like night owls when you're not actually. You're not. It's that you're very sensitive to your environments and the energy that is active and being promoted around you. And when there's a lot of people, there's a lot of conflicting energies that are around you, and your body or your nervous system is sensitive to these things. So you guys have a strong connection to the earth element, which means you have a strong connection to your bodily effects, your health, and the health of others. This is also telling me that if you guys, something that you might become vulnerable to over the next 30 days is answering to your fears. But what this is saying, that right now you are embodying everything that you need to in order to overcome certain fears or influences that have had negative impacts over you. Now, something that I'm also getting from the mesh of the rabbit totem and also the Hurricane diamond is that you guys have probably gone through a big clear out. Now, this could be metaphoric, or this could be quite literal. Maybe you needed to do a clear out of your home, of belongings that you've had for a very long time. Clear out of connections or people, toxic relationships, or the consumership of negative influences in any way that you resonate with. Because it's a general reading, I can't really be too specific. This could also be metaphoric. This could be talking about negative perspectives, negative habits, negative self-care treatments, or things that were once good for you that you've overdone that have now become negative. The rabbit totem is really good at helping putting things into perspective and clearing out what is not good or what is not useful, because there's already enough of something that you should be embracing more of. Does this make sense? Now, what the rabbit is telling me in this circumstance is that you guys have a specific talent, or you have a specific idea, because you are very fertile with creativity. So there is something that you've had in mind that you are being called to take instant action towards. There is no going back. There is no holding back. This is who you are now. This is who you are. And I think in the past you have repressed your abilities, all this talent that you've had, and you've dumbed it down to make other people outside of you comfortable, that I think you are now ready to outgrow, because this is a comfortability you've had that has kind of dulled your ability to become your best self and live in a life that supports that best version of self. So that's all the things that you truly desire. You know what I'm saying. Something that I wrote down here was you've been learning what it means to refocus on your past, where it is that you've truly come from and what you've truly gone through. So I think there were certain things where you might have worn rose-colored or rose-tinted glasses in certain ways, and I think this is because quite literally you're someone who wishes to see the best in people, and you do this. You encourage the best in people. If you see me staring off, I'm just looking at the clouds scrying. Which means it's very eerie. So we need to put a little bit of logic into a situation or a relationship that has hurt you, or something that has hurt you and has been very heavy on your heart, that has influenced a lot of your choices in the past. You've put in a lot of effort already, and Spirit are kind of commending you for that. They want me to congratulate you for how much work you've already done within your healing processes. You've done so much already and brought so much light to dark places in your life, and dark things and dark people. Dark outcomes that could have come to be, and you've exposed a lot of light because you are the light. But the thing is, you can't enhance your light if you're not embracing all that enhances you. So there are more services and more benefits that come from you being you, for yourself and for others outside of you. I feel here that you are someone who wishes to do the best by everyone, and you feel a deep sense of like service to a group of people, or like humanity, or like a purpose. And it's important that you honor this. But the best way to honor this is by being your best self. So the best way that you can be yourself is by embracing your natural skills, your natural talents, your natural passions, and what you feel is important to you. This is a repeating message that is shared within the collective right now, but it's expressed in different ways through different streams of consciousness right now. And I'm only speaking to a very minuscule amount of people here. Of course, you know what I'm saying. So I can't tap into the world consciousness stream and all of its dimensions, but I can touch on the ones that are found to be present, which is yourself. This is a focus that you would benefit over the next 30 days embodying. Try not to think about how to expand yourself so much, and instead keep doing what you can to the best of your ability, because that is what is going to expand you, and that is where you're going to discover the truth of your capabilities and the truth of the benefits that come from you being yourself. It's important that you understand this, because this is how you are going to combat fears that you've had, and these fears could quite literally be expressed through insecurities. I see you guys overcoming a lot of these insecurities, but I also see you being vulnerable to them. So what I would suggest you would do, if you know, take this as friendly advice, like if you were my friend, what I would say to you is learn from these experiences, learn about yourself, because only exposure to these insecurities are going to teach you what you need to nurture within yourself to then face them. So befriend them, and then you will learn its healing necessity. And this is how you are going to treat, because that's what the fear needs. It needs a treatment. This is something that you have affected you for a very long time, and understanding the fear is actually where you are going to be provided the gift of what is going to motivate you into your best version of self, or into the success that you are seeking. Does that make sense? So whatever it is that you've been working on, I see you're going to, or no, correction, the thing that you've had in your mind that you've been wanting to do forever, that you've loved to do, that you've said you're going to do forever, that you've just never done, is actually going to bring you a lot of prosperity, with the rabbit totem being here. Because once again, the rabbit is very fertile and it produces a lot of babies at once. So what this is saying is the thing that you're thinking about is going to bring you a lot of reward. And it's going to bring you reward in multiple amounts of ways. So this is a totem for me that represents abundance and prosperity. So that says that love and prosperity, or good luck, is just around the corner for you guys. It's just that there's a little something that is still holding you back, and I believe it's an insecurity that you have yet to get to the root core of. But that's because your fear is holding you back. So acceptance of the fear is the first step. Once you accept the fear, you'll be able to research the fear, but the research is going to come from you learning about yourself and how you interact with this influence of the fear itself. Once you are able to do that, you will then see an inflood. It's like a flood. I feel it as a flood come to you that will be like realization after realization after realization, and then you're going to feel an instant motivation to take instant action. Now, instant action doesn't have to be grand, especially if you don't feel confident to take grand motion. Don't force yourself to do that. You could start as simple as writing down ideas of your future within the ideas that you are seeing. Writing down methods, writing down practical plans, writing down small things that you can do that add up to big results over an amount of time. Because the important thing that I see here for you is where you might feel vulnerable is threat to the plans. Does that make sense? Like, because you're not seeing instant result to your investments, that is where you might start to become doubtful, which is just an aftermath effect of an insecurity that you have within yourself. When you start to feel these things, revert back. I would, if I were in your position, I would revert back, get closer with myself and ask myself, like, why am I doubting this right now? Is this because I'm seeking an instant sort of outcome? Okay, well, if so, that is my expectation. But I've got to understand that there is collective contributions to this outcome. So I can't really expect a certain outcome if it hasn't matured into its appropriate form to then give me the result that I'm truly asking for. So appreciating the moment where it is that you are will help you to kind of grow what it is that you're hoping for into its prosperous form. You know what I'm saying? If you're someone who's working on, say, entrepreneurship, is that a thing? Working on your own business, yeah? Love where it is that you're at. I promise you, love where it is that you're at, and you will be provided with the answers that you seek of how to move forward in the best possible way. Because if you can love where you're at, you're going to develop the eye to see how much more, where you can invest more love that will help it to grow faster. Does that make sense? Because you've only been giving love in a certain way that can only grow it to a certain level, so you're going to be learning more about where it is that you can add more value, which is your love, and what you deem is best appropriate for your situation and what you're investing in, and that is what is going to boost progression quickest, from what I'm being taught in the energy here. Okay, let's go ahead and look into why it is important that you know this right now. Because this is helping you to set your course moving forward and a direction for you moving forward. You guys are starting a new cycle, or you will be starting a new cycle that is going to be better balanced with you and the truth it is that you feel and your values, is what I just heard. So knowing where it is that you wish to go is going to help you to create a plan. In the past, I heard that certain approaches were thoughtless. And as I looked down, I saw 1414, so that could have a numerology number for you that will hold more information that you will discern for yourself, that will be more beneficial than what I can provide for you today. Allow your intuition to guide you if you do look into the numerology meaning of 1414, or you look into the angel number message. But pile number 3, your efforts. If you have already invested yourself into something that was really meaningful to you, your efforts weren't effortless. Like, it wasn't purposeless. It wasn't meaningless. You know what I mean? The reason why you're not seeing the results that you have been looking for is because you have yet to still invest your efforts in the appropriate place of what you're working on. And this is what you've been learning about. And this is what you will learn more about the more you overcome your fear or insecurity of self, or your comfort zone, or all the above. The other card that came out here was Believe, Strange Encounters. So yeah, you're going to be experiencing a lot of different dimensions of a particular focus. So you're going to see one thing in many different ways, and that's why you keep feeling like you're learning repetitive things. in different ways, because that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now. You're supposed to be learning different dimensions of what contributes to your particular focus. That is what leads you to mastery. So understanding the wisdom that the lessons are truly providing for you is what is going to help you to identify the teaching of the lesson before the lesson has to manifest for you. Does that make sense? Can we please further clarify on that, just to make sure that I feel, just to make sure. Journey, do things in a different way. Yeah, you're learning the different dimensions of things, so I don't need to go any further into that. I have clarified it enough. The thing is, you're learning how to do things in multiple different ways, because this is where you're going to see what works. Pay attention to the repeating patterns in the different things that highlight the same focus. This is so confusing for me because it's so different for all of you, and I'm trying to generalize it and I'm not satisfied, but I hope you understand. Sorry guys. Alright, moving on. So how can they best protect their energy from any possible projections that might intend to attack their progression? We have, do not drink poison, do not do things that you know are bad for you. You guys are already aware, because you've gained an awareness of what you are wanting in your future. So you guys are already aware of what is not going to support these things that you're wanting into being. So what you're doing is building boundaries with yourself, building boundaries with the world outside of you, and building boundaries with the things that you consume metaphorically, such as soft media in general, like social media. But also what you are consuming. This is a repeating message from another pile. Your diet, you're going to be more sensitive to your diet, because once again, this is an earthly elemental totem, which means you are more in touch with the earthly element, which is creation around you, also your body and also your bodily health. So what you consume outside of you, you're going to be very sensitive to. If there's world problems that are going on that you are very sensitive to right now, you're being encouraged to take a break from these things. As you've noticed, I've been absent from online for a little while. I sensed things stirring up before I went absent. And then I went quiet for a little while. And then things unfolded in the world. So energy has calmed down now. I feel much more disciplined in my authenticity, so I felt ready to come back into the media. And I think this is something that you guys would do yourself well, practicing as well, honoring your needs. I do this often, and I do this as frequently as I need to without explanation, because if I don't, I start to become a negative version of myself that I do not like, and I do not recommend ignoring your bodily signs when it comes to honoring the best version of yourself, because you need to create conditions that support that version of yourself into being. And I think what you've really been learning is surprising things about yourself that you didn't know that you needed. So integrating these things into your daily routines, or into, like, I don't know, something that's comfortable for you, something that works for you, which could be totally unique to you. So I'm not going to dictate how, but a suggestion that I have would be to test out all the things that you are realizing about yourself in different ways, because that is the only way, from what I see here, that you're going to discover how it will work best. So what are you encouraged to embody more of that will help you create the best possible outcome and achieve the best possible success for all involved within their focuses, please? We have the black egg. This is a form of advice that came up for a previous pile. So once again, this is a collective energy that is being experienced on different dimensions. This is saying, be yourself, explore yourself, get to know yourself, and beneath all that you have judged already, there are certain gifts that you have not learned to embrace and not learned to appreciate yet, but you're going to over the next 30 days. You're going to see a different perspective of yourself. I think you have held yourself to a certain expectation, or to You've allowed certain things to have affected your confidence or faith or trust within yourself, pile number 3, you see. And you're going to see what that was really that affected you, how it's affected you, and you're going to be learning how to take control of that yourself. So this insecurity no longer possesses you, because that is what it's been. It has affected you for such a long time that it has possessed you. It had become a natural, instinctual flight response for you, because that was your survival instinct. You've outgrown your survival instinct, and you're stepping in more to your heart center within this subject, within yourself. You're learning how to accept yourself and learning how to use yourself to the best of your ability in the best ways that you learn how, and you're going to be lessening your fear as a result, because when you know yourself, you get to know your strengths, and then knowing your strengths allows you to discern when to use those strengths best to face what you might perceive to be as a threat or something that you should fear. And that empowers you to face the fear and outgrow the thought form of its influence. So additional information for pile number 3 moving forward about the next 30 days. We have domestic harmony. You're going to be bringing a lot more balance into your life, the things that you've been hoping for, a lot more self-acceptance, which is granting you more ability to be receptive to love that is around you, which is opening you up to abundance, which is then further opening you up to prosperity. So what this is also saying is keep staying within your positive focuses, keep staying around energy that is positive for you, honor your own needs, and honor your own inner voice, your inner dialogue, your better judgment, if you want to call it that. If you're more in your masculine energy, I apologize, your better judgment. Because it's your better judgment is all that is you're going to need to help you to honor the plans that you are setting for your future. And if you start to discover that these things don't work out for you, or you don't like it, you can then alter it to better fit the time and the place that you find yourself at. There is nothing to fear about your future. You have a lot of great things coming towards you, pile number 3. And I know it's easy for me to say that, and it's easy for you to be like, yeah, and brush it off, but I truly mean it. I see it here, I feel it in the energy. Before I actually hit record, I was feeling a real like spike in energy of excitement, and then I got a little bit emotional because once again, I think you guys have come to a full realization of who it is that you are after coming out of so many things that gave you reason not to be who it is that you are, that you've discovered yourself to be right now. So I really think you should congratulate yourself for this, and I really think that you should empower yourself through what you've outgrown. You have been presented a choice, and you really have, to either go down 2 directions. 1, your best version of self. 2, your most aggressive version of self, your most protected version of self, your most defensive, your Aries. We'll put it this way. People like yourself, pile number 3, people who are able to embody the energy that you are able to embody, have to consistently practice in choosing to be a good person. And I see here that there's been plenty of points where you've questioned yourself if you are good or not. And there was especially a situation that had taken place that had left a huge impact on yourself that made you really, really question who it was that you were. But I'm here to tell you that you are not what you were made out to be. If you were made out to be evil, bad, horrible, whatever, that's a perspective. Who it is that you choose to be now might prove otherwise, and that is all that is important. What you choose to be is all that is important. Pile number 3. And that is going to be a piece of advice that I see that will help to motivate you over the next 30 days. Who do you choose to be? This question will be one that will be very powerful for you, because it will help you to tap back in to your truth, or your inner voice, your better judgment. That is what is going to help to lead you to abundance. And another card flipped out, relationship change with abundance. If you've been seeking prosperity and stuff like that, this process is what is going to help you to clear any money blocks that you might have been experiencing, and bring back harmony to your line of prosperity. Those are the messages that I have for you today, pile number 3. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you guys being here today, and until next time. Hello, pile number 4, and welcome to your reading. I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be probably channeling the majority of your reading, because you guys, if you haven't recognized this already, you are going to be, over the next week or two, experiencing a consciousness shift or raise in consciousness. So you're going to be much more sensitive to your claircognizance and also your clairvoyance, I see here. So that's why I'm going to be channeling most of this reading. Now, the cards that I pulled to represent who it is that you are right now is Labradorite. Now, I'll touch on the other position first. The other cards that I pulled was to represent where it is that you might find yourself vulnerable over the next 30 days. And what I mean by that, because I heard, please clarify, what I mean by where it is that you might find yourself most vulnerable, this is within your energy. This is within your progression into your consciousness shift that you are learning to integrate into your everyday ways of being. Now, what this is saying, pile number 4, with your consciousness shift, you are learning to tap into different, what some people might call mystical dimensions of consciousness. You're learning how different energies respond uniquely with different aspects of your mind, of your being, of your aura. You've been learning more about your energy and how to consciously contribute and control, shift, and transform these things. And with understanding and tapping into this awareness of self, or into this consciousness stream, you're also learning how to understand all that operates below this consciousness stream. So you're going to be much more sensitive to collective issues right now, I want to say. Pile number 4. You will be sensing out a lot more spiritual guidance within yourself, because you're much more sensitive to the needs of the environments around you. And when I'm saying environments, I'm meaning this in a metaphorical way. I'm meaning this as in the environments that are being created by the people that are contributing to these outcomes, these settings, and these circumstances. And because you are very sensitive, because your consciousness has risen above the majority of the people that you have in your spaces and circles and in associations, you're seeing things very differently. So you guys could find yourself, right, feeling a little bit vulnerable to the feelings of alienation with the hawk totem and the dragon totem here, because you're going to be seeing things in a very traditional way, in a very step-by-step, rigid way. But you're seeing a higher perspective or a higher contribution to the step-by-step way of being. And it might be very traditional, like, and it might sound very simple, but this very simple method or understanding or insight is actually something that is very necessary. There's a reason why simplicity has always served. Pile number 4, and you have a certain understanding or wisdom, or will discover this along the way over the next 30 days. When you discover this higher perspective or purpose or way of being, method, revelation, it's important that you share it with the people who seek it. And when I say the people who seek it, you're going to find yourself attracting in, or the universe supporting people, being magnetized towards you almost, that will invoke questions or bring you situations and circumstances that will help you to explore the truth of the perspective that you deem as truth. Does that make sense? So when you see challenges arising within your own spiritual understanding, within your own spiritual, like, mastery, your craft, your understanding, your work, your art, see it as an opportunity to explore the truth that you deem as truth. How true is the truth to you? That is all that is important, because what I see here with the hawk totem and the dragon totem matched with this beautiful crystal's energy is that you guys might feel like people are trying to use their ego to challenge you, and that is what you might feel vulnerable to. The ego of others, the ego projection of others, that will then encourage your ego to also come out and play. So I see here something that will be very helpful for you, especially from what I'm hearing clairaudiently and claircognizantly and what I'm receiving. Remembering the purpose of the perspective you hold will help you stay in discipline of your ego. Remembering why you're doing what you're doing is going to help you to almost stay professional when approaching certain perspectives, certain ways of being, certain people outside of you that are still learning. Everyone is still learning. Like, I feel as though you guys are very well practiced in something in particular, and it's almost like people keep coming to you, and you've felt them as challenging you, or you felt like they've built competition with you. That is all going to change very quickly. And if people have deemed you in a negative light, or have misperceived your purpose, your judgment, your actions, or ways of being, that is also going to change very quickly outside of you. And this is all because you are embracing the truth of who it is that you've discovered yourself to be, and you have disciplined your ego. Instead, you are doing something for a higher reason, a higher purpose, and that's what's keeping you empowered within your energy, really, within this consciousness shift. So just a moment here, I'm gonna look into some other cards, pile number 4. I also heard that in the past there might have been like a situation where you felt like, I just heard someone try to make you seem like you were silly, like you didn't know what you were doing. But the truth is, you did know what you were doing. They just didn't know what you were doing. So they projected that perception onto you. But you have been discovering along the way what it is that you were doing as well. Perhaps you felt like you were on a path, a specific path that the world was leading you on, or life was leading you on, God, universe, a certain journey. And perhaps you had asked plenty of times why you had to do this, why you were going through these things, why certain things had occurred, failed, even fell through, why certain people did what they did, and why you went through what you went through. I'm hearing a lot of questions about this, and it's going towards like someone you have a close relationship with, or that you felt like you had a close relationship with. And then it's almost like you allowed this hurt, or this sadness, or this grief to block the connection that you had with your spiritual guides, with your spiritual connections, with God, with forces, sources, etc., who you have your special connection with in energy. That it almost blocked your third eye. So if you've felt like you've had third eye blockages, what I hear here, something that will help you to create positive momentum moving forward, is frequently, at least once a week if you can, try to dedicate at least 10 minutes to listening to something like binaural beats for your third eye on YouTube, or working through your own disbeliefs, your own insecurities, becoming aware of your fears and understanding that your fears are just your thoughts. Those fears are not present, so they should not have influence or effect on your choices. Being aware of your fears is a healthy thing to do, pile number 4. I'm not saying that at all. But allowing your fears to influence your choices, or your motives, becomes infectious to what it is that you're manifesting. And usually when your fear motivates your creation, it usually destroys itself. So you becoming aware of your fears is what helps you to take control of them, and this also helps to lead you towards discipline over your ego in traditional ways that lead you to higher perspectives, that lead you to consciousness shifts, consciousness raises. Because I see here you're prioritizing the importance of understanding, and that's the most important aspect of all. Understanding is the key to tapping into the true mastery of your life, your self-mastery, your self's craft. Your self's craft? Your self's craft That sounds so strange to me. Why? I don't know. Or your soul's yearning, I guess. Okay, so why is it important for you guys to know this energy? These messages, why is it important that they know these messages over the next 30 days, please? Because this is going to help you to build boundaries with things that have threatened the best possible outcome to begin with. It's also going to help you to preserve your energy from energy vampires outside of you, negative people, people who want to create problems. The problem creators, not problem solvers, is what I just heard. There are people here who don't want to create the best possible outcome. They don't want to be understanding, encouraging. They don't want to see the best in you. They don't want to encourage the best in you. Pile number 4. Instead, what they're trying to do is control you, condition you, and point you in a direction that also benefits them. Do you see what I'm saying? There are very selfish people around you, and you know this already. It's more like you're learning to accept it. And you're also getting clear with your own self. Like, it's almost like for some of you guys, come on now, for some of you guys, I heard come on now, I'm uncomfortable saying this, and that's what that response was to me. Perhaps some of you guys had been making a lot of false excuses for yourself or for someone else outside of you that you know is negative, that you've just been trying to justify means with, you know. And I see here that it's coming to time that you accept things for what they are, because again, this is going to bring you to a completion. With 28 being here, that reduces down to 10, and 10 is all about karmic completions, releases, or the ends of cycles, voiding contracts as well, and recreating new positions in life independently by prioritizing your values more. I see here we have found the lesson, discover the purpose of your situation. Yeah, there are reasons why things are in alignment in the ways that they are, and it's to do with the things that you are accepting. So ask yourself what it is that you are accepting that is not helping you to achieve what it is that you see is necessary to grow what it is that you're working on. There's a lot of things that are going on outside of you that you know is not fair, and you sticking up for yourself doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be a fight. Pile number 4, you sticking up for yourself is self-respect. You need this. This is a part of your self-love processes or self-care processes, and if it's not, it should be something that is disciplined into your self-care routine. And if you don't have a self-care routine, that is exactly what is needed to help you to overcome the threats that you have found outside of you, because that's what there are, quite literal threats, people and things that are holding you back from things that you know could be that are better. So yeah, it's important that you stay in the present and accept yourself for where you are and what situations you are in, because this is going to provide you with the clear insight it is that you need to accept, to then work yourself outside of the cycle that you have found yourself in. Things are going to have to be addressed. People are going to have to take accountability. Things are going to have to be learned, and quite literally, honest communication is needed. That is what is going to solve anything, any issues that you might find coming up in the next 30 days. There's a lot of people out here that are problem creators, and it's time that you call them out on their ish. You know that they're creating problems, but they're playing victim. And it's important that you don't allow this to really be, because it's not something that reflects your true values. You know that playing victim doesn't help anything or anyone, and the only people that can rescue ourselves is ourselves. But people are expecting you to be something like some sort of messiah in a situation or an outcome or a circumstance, and it's important that you understand that that is not your role. All you can do is provide your perspective, and it's important that you do that and release attachment to those situations, because if you don't, ego is going to get involved by a larger group of people, and they're going to call you into question. They're going to kind of demand too much of you, and it's not going to be a situation where you feel comfortable. So it's important that you are careful of what you wish for within your situations, within your perspectives, and within what you think you want. Ask yourself why you think you want these things, and it will give you a higher it will lead you into a deeper self-reflection, that will lead you to deeper insights that will prove useful to you. Okay. So because of that, I just want to check something extremely quickly. What should they avoid embracing over the next 30 days? I think that was an accident. 2 seconds. We have the thinking man and garden in the gate. Ask yourself how it is that you are holding yourself back, and ask yourself what value is being additioned into your life by you holding yourself back in the ways that you do. Once you discover this and you give yourself this true nitty-gritty answer, you're going to open up a perspective within yourself that will help you to get more creative with your ways of thinking, that will help lead you to new ideas, that will help you to build a way out of comfortability that is only getting you so far. Because we have garden in the gate, that literally talks about comfortability. And we have the thinking man, this talks about the things that you are choosing to dedicate yourself to, that is creating the results that you are reaping. So this talks about you reevaluating the value of your investments and asking yourself, is it growing you or is it keeping you still? What can be changed that will help to reflect the true value of your willpower or your desire, your motivation, your purpose? Additional messages for those who are viewing this reading. Why is it important for them to know this information once again? Why is it important for them to know this information? It's important that you guys know this because it's going to help you to discover new possibilities, new ways of being, and help you to discover new forms of happiness, I just heard. New reasons for celebration as well. What you found weird, crazy, outside of what would be good or normal for you is actually going to be discovered to be as something helpful and something that brings more color, more enjoyment, or more success into your world. And I also say it's always tea time. This is endless moments, repetition, eternity. You can't expect something different from doing the same thing endlessly, is pretty much what this says in a nuanced way. To me, this talks, it's kind of similar to the Wheel of Fortune for me, pile number 4. What the Wheel of Fortune talks about, in my experience, is the wheel of destiny or the wheel of consequence. And what it does is it offers you a choice. And the thing is, once again, you can't expect a different outcome from investing the same things that you know create the same circumstance and situations and outcomes itself. And so this is asking you, how can you do something different? How can you reflect yourself more? And why do you do things in the ways that you do when you know it only brings you a certain outcome? What are you ready to experience? Because the question that I keep feeling arise within the energy is, you know that there is more to life than what you have been experiencing. So what is it that you are accepting that is holding you back from experiencing more? Once you discover this, yeah, you're going to really quite literally cleanse yourself and solidify your sovereignty within yourself. State your mastery around you and clear up any rumors, confusion, and doubts that you've had of yourself. You're also going to see past certain controlling aspects from other people that have held you down, and you're going to clear yourself of like those sorts of relationships that have held you back. But that's what you need to protect yourself from. Energy vampires and people who are trying to control you, people who make you feel crazy for how you see the world and how you exercise what builds a positive lifestyle for you. And I mean truly, really positive lifestyle for you. Not things that you justify to be good because you like it, you know, not bad, but things that you see that are important that you offer to the world. Don't allow people to make you feel crazy for pointing out the things that you see as important, because quite truthfully, the people who keep shutting you down are the people who need to embrace that truth, and they're in rejection of the truth that you keep offering them. So if they don't want to hear it and don't want to accept it, allow them to go on their merry way to experience the consequences of what they truly wish for. And the thing is here, karma is heightened for you. Pile number 4, so a very something that you know, a traditional saying that has been helpful for everyone is treat others how you wish to be treated, and you're going to be seeing the consequence of what you treat others as being heightened. And the more disciplined you become in the version of yourself that you say that you are, the more you will see the results that you have been supporting and wanting. But first of all, you need to release all that is not supporting your growth and expansion here. And I see here that there is a lot of negativity. So, yeah. Is it loud and clear? Sign out. Okay. So I heard like a military person almost. They're like, I heard you loud and clear, signing out. I don't know what that means, but perhaps that means there is nothing else that is left to be said. But I'm going to pull one more message as an additional message from the universe for you guys. Look closely, ask yourself questions, and think before you act. This will help you to protect your energy and preserve your energy moving forward. It will also help you to build the necessary boundaries that you might need to prepare within yourself to then face certain situations or people and circumstances over the next 30 days. There is nothing for you to fear. This is more about you claiming your empowerment, you showing the world who it is that you are, you being exactly who you know yourself to be, and you setting a course to get exactly what you know you deserve. Because lately you have not been in a place that you deserve to be, and you have not been surrounded by people you deserve to be surrounded by, because they're not giving you the same sorts of efforts that you invest into them. And that's the main bottom line here, and that's what I see you needing to protect yourself of over the next 30 days. Now, just another little side note, it's important that you guys discern whether this is permanent or whether this is temporary, as someone going through a period of their life where they're choosing to be rebellious, choosing to be difficult, and choosing to be victimized and being completely and utterly draining. Is that inherently who they are, or is this something that they are projecting to survive? This is going to be something that you're going to feel yourself challenged by discerning. So something that I feel might help you from what I see in the cards is ask yourself, are these people really looking for solutions, or are they just creating problems after problems within the solutions? And if the answer is they're a problem creator, those are the people you need to build the boundaries with, even if it's just temporary, until they come to the realization within themselves that they have the power to change their circumstances, and all that stands in their way is their own self-acceptance. If they wish to accept the negativity that they are building for themselves, allow them to experience that, because that is what it's going to teach them their ways, the truth of their ways. If you fall into the habit of joining these people in their escapades, is what I just heard, you too will cop the karma, because you've consciously known better but chosen to go along with this person, which means you stay loyal to the alignment and you contract yourself to the consequence of that alignment. So it's important that you be your best friend this month. Pile number 4. You might feel a little selfish, but it's important that you are right now, because a lot of people have been taking advantage of your kindness. So it's important that you give that kindness back to yourself by doing the right thing by you first. Okay, pile number 4. So yeah, with you doing all of these things, I see here once again, you guys keep advancing within your talents, within your spiritual ability. You build a firm trust foundation with yourself, allowing you to tap into new heights and understandings, and allowing you to see past ego, and helping you to break down narcissists or narcissism within individuals. So you'll overcome a lot of negative forces this month, and I am very, very happy for you in doing so. You've already done a lot of work behind this already. Like, you've done the intricate work already. You've done the background work that people don't see already. It's more so you standing in conviction that you will be proving to yourself that this truth that you have built within your side of yourself is actually true to you. Those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and with all that being said, until next time, see you later.